Okay, what's up, people? I'm at a little different location, working really, really, really fucking hard right now at my job, so I just decided, why not take a break from the obvious hard work I'm doing and just talk about the Sixers, specifically Tobias Harris, because I gave him the half-ass version of an apology last time, and I think that he kind of deserves a real apology. He's still not worth $30 million a year, still not that, but like he's worth maybe $20 million a year, and that's something. That's better than what I thought before. That's better than him being worth like $10 million last year. That was not the player that we're getting. Tobias Harris is like a fatter Harrison Barnes, but this year he's playing like way better. Like he's playing way, way, way more efficient. I didn't think his efficiency numbers would hold up the way that they are. Holy shit, can't talk. I didn't think his efficiency numbers would hold up the way that they are, but they really are. He really is efficient. He is playing really good defense. He still no. I was about to say something negative. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're gonna save the negative stuff. We're only a minute in. Can't start negative stuff yet. So he has been really clutch too. All right, let's get. He has been really clutch. Let's boast about that. Tobias Harris has turned into an actual clutch time player, an actual like bucket getter at the end of the games and or at the end of games, and that's really important on this team. I really didn't think that we had a player that was going to be capable of doing stuff like that, and Tobias Harris has proven to kind of be that guy. Like I really didn't think that he would be able to do it, but he is. It's kind of crazy to me. His mid range is super duper wet. I didn't think his mid range would fall like this ever. I I just didn't. I mean, it fell last year. His mid range was falling, but it just his mid range was just always just such a frustrating shot for me. Like I guess I just have like PTSD of like when we had no spacing and everybody was closing out super hard on Tobias Harris mid ranges, and like I just every time he takes a mid range now, I just feel like that's not going in. That shot's not going in, but then it goes in, and it's like at a certain point, it's like maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just wrong, and Tobias Harris has always been a good mid range shooter. And I just kind of had to eat shit on this one. I just do. Tobias Harris is a good player right now. He's a really good player. I still would like to trade him for a better player. Like if I could get Zach LaVine, I would definitely take that. But that's just not going to happen. That is just a dream in fantasy land. It's just not going. It's not going to. This is not going to work. So I might as well forget that shit. But like I don't know. His mid range is really, really, really good this year. It's really a dependable shot. I think he's just playing with like a different comfort level. Maybe it's the difference in coach. I think 100% is the difference in coach. I feel like that's really the main difference because it's not like Tobias Harris was getting double teamed last year, or not that I can really remember. So it's not like what? It's not like now because we have spacing that he's able to get like these shots easier. I mean, I guess spacing does kind of affect every player, but it just seemed like no one was really doubling Tobias. It just seemed like he just didn't know what he was supposed to do on offense all the time. Like he was kind of confused about his role and what he was supposed to do and where he was supposed to get his buckets and like what actions he was supposed to be doing. I feel like maybe a lot of it has to do with Tobias just isn't a natural or like super willing 3-point shooter, which is, something I said in the last video and something that I really think he needs to be. Maybe, I don't know, because we have Seth and Danny now, but like, Seth can't take as many threes as he wants because, he just has short arms, a slow release, and he's short. All the stuff I said in the last video also. But like, I think that the difference is the coaching because I think Doc Rivers just kind of lets Tobias do things that Tobias is comfortable doing. Like he doesn't stress him to shoot threes. We needed him to shoot threes last year because we didn't have any fucking spacing. That shit was horrible. It was awful. It was watching the Sixers on offense last year was just zero fun. There was no fun to be had watching the Sixers play offense last year unless Embiid had the ball, and even then it wasn't fun because Embiid basically trusted no one. He was out here taking like Kobe like triple team ass shots like that just weren't gonna go in at high clip ever. Like it was just not. It was not a good offense to watch. It was not fun to watch. And offense with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons should be fun to watch. And it just wasn't a fun offense to watch. It sucked. There was no spacing. But this year with more spacing, I guess it just reduced the what? It reduced the dependency of Tobias Harris threes. Like we don't need Tobias Harris to be like fucking JJ Redick, or like we don't need Tobias Harris. I'm trying to find like a better comp, but like I guess they're just one Tobias Harris. We don't need Tobias Harris to like shoot 8, 7, 8 threes a game. We don't need that to happen. I don't even think he was shooting that many last year. I think he only shot like maybe 5.5 last year a game at like 36%, which is above league average, and that's a good volume. But he wasn't taking them catch and shoot like I wanted to, and it's not good enough. It's not what we needed, and it was diminishing his value because it's like that's not what he does. It's not what he's good at. That's not his game. That's not how he's gonna be the most efficient version of himself in that role. It's not good for him. So now that we have actual other players who can fit that role, who can do those things, we don't need Tobias Harris to do that as much, even though I, again, would like Tobias Harris to be a willing shooter from three because we have two players that really don't shoot. I mean, Embiid shoots. He shoots 40% from three on like 3 attempts, which is good. But when you have a player like Ben Simmons, you need players that are willing to put up a lot of threes because that's really what's going to allow him to be the best version of himself because he does not shoot. And that's something I refuse to talk about. We're not talking about Ben shooting. We're not doing it. We're not fucking doing it because he's just never going to do it. But Tobias, now that there's other shooters and he can play more his game, I think he just found like a real comfort level in this offense to where he can take his mid range and shots he's comfortable taking. Like I don't think Tobias really has like he does, but I was gonna say he doesn't have like real NBA 3-point range, but he does. He's shooting 40% from three. On I think he only shoots like 4.5 threes a game though, so that's not a super high volume. But like he's to hit 40%, you have NBA range. But it just seems like I don't know. It just seems like if there was no 3-point line to buy, I mean, I don't think anyone would take threes if there was no 3-point line. Like no one would shoot that far back. Maybe like fucking Steph Curry or some shit. But like if it wasn't like for an extra point, Tobias would have no business being out that far. Like he would never ever do it. If we didn't need spacing, if we didn't need him to shoot, I feel like Tobias would be very hesitant to even be out there. But he and we're seeing that when he doesn't have to be and he's allowed to be himself and take shots that he wants to take and plays comfortable in his role, it makes him a better player. He shoots 50 40 90 or 50 40 85 or whatever he's shooting right now. 20 points a game is a career. He's taking more shots than ever, or I'm pretty sure he is. I mean, if he's not, he's getting more free throws because he's getting more points. But maybe he's taking less shots. And he's just so much more efficient that it's allowing him to have a career high in points. So yeah, that might not even be true. But he's averaging a career high right now, and he's taking like less threes, and he's playing more efficient. Like this is just great. This is just greatness from Tobias Harris right now. It really is, and his defense is legitimately good. His on-ball defense is good. He's not gonna be Ben Simmons or Matisse Thybulle. He's not gonna guard like the toughest opponent on the other team. But the person he does guard, I really do feel like he does a good job, man to man, on-ball defense. Off-ball defense, we have a lot of negative things to say, and this is a positive Tobias Harris video, so we're not going to go into that. We're going to stick to the positives on Tobias Harris. And there's a lot of positives this year, man. There's just a lot of positives. He hasn't been dribbling the air out of the ball, which is just so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch when Tobias Harris doesn't dribble the air out of the ball. It just is. And he just plays efficiently. He takes his two dribbles. He plays. It's just a decisiveness to how Tobias Harris is playing this year. It's just a decisiveness. Like he gets the ball, he knows what he's going to do. If he's going to the post, he knows like if he's going to fade, he knows like what shoulder he's going over. He just knows it. I just feel like he knows exactly what he wants to do, and it's like and he does it and he executes it. And he this is something else like I've kind of noticed too. Like in the past, I feel like Tobias was bothered a lot by people like contesting his mid ranges, and it would kind of throw him off. But Tobias is fucking 6'10". Tobias is way too fucking big for that shit. Like you can get shots up over people. Like, and this is why I wanted him to shoot more threes. But I think contests just bothered Tobias. Maybe his shot is like slower than maybe I give credit to. Maybe the contests are a lot closer than they appear on TV, but it just seems like Tobias, if anybody is within like if anybody is within like 3 or 4 feet of Tobias Harris, he is going to refuse to take that shot. Like it's just no thought in his mind that he's going to take it. But this year I'm seeing like on mid ranges Tobias takes it because I think it's just an understanding. Like I'm bigger and stronger than most of the people that are guarding me. Like I just am. And from 15 feet, I don't see why I can't make this shot. I don't see why I can't just shoot it confidently without thinking about if it's going to get blocked or not. Because most people can't block that shot. And I've just been seeing that from Tobias, and those shots have been going in, man. I just love the confidence that Tobias Harris is playing with. I just really, really, really love it. What did he have today against the Kings at home? No Ben, no Joel, no Seth. I think Tobias had like 28, 29 points, 9 rebounds and 8 assists, 0 turnovers. Like that's just an amazing game, man. God, I gotta take my hat off for Tobias. I wish I had a hat so I could take it off right now for Tobias Harris because that's really, 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 really good basketball, man. I just I don't know, man. No. I was gonna say I love Tobias Harris, but I don't. I'm not gonna even go that far. We're not gonna lie. Like, we're not gonna do that. But like, I really like Tobias Harris. I would. I would be. We're not gonna continue this analogy. It's weird, but like, Tobias is playing really, really, really good basketball, man. And I hope that he continues this. I don't know what it's going to look like in the playoffs because it just seems like when playoff defense attacks Tobias Harris, his slowness, his hesitancy to shoot, his what? His like I don't even know what else it is. I think it's really just those two things, his slowness and hesitance to like shoot. It just fucks him in the playoffs because people play really hard defense and like people key in on matchups. And in a 7-game series, we played you like 3-4 times straight. We know what you do. We know what you want to do. We know what your go-to move is, and you can't do it fast enough to beat my adjustment. I think that's really the problem that Tobias Harris runs into when it becomes playoff time, and why he struggled last year in the playoffs, and I think he struggled the year before that too in the playoffs. So like Tobias Harris just doesn't come through in the playoffs. So we have to see if Tobias Harris comes through in the playoffs. That's when I'll say I love Tobias Harris. When he comes through in the playoffs, that's when I'll love Tobias Harris. And that's when I give it to him. I love Embiid. I would say that. I think Embiid is probably the only player on this team that I love. Like I was legitimately hurt when Embiid like fucking like hyperextended his knee. And I saw the replay and I was like, okay, we're good. No one hurts their knee really badly when it does some shit like that, even though, there's a percent chance that it could happen. But no one really fucking does it. No one really hurts their knee when they do some shit like that. So I was just like, all right, we're good. But I couldn't breathe for a couple minutes there. I was like, like I just could not believe that shit. But we're good. We're good. We're good. Embiid is good. He'll be back. Still, I don't know. I kind of got derailed on what the fuck I was talking about. Tobias Harris. I like what I see right now from Tobias Harris. I didn't give him the full apology that he deserved in the last video. And I know all 4 people that watched that video are just like waiting for me to give him a real apology because he deserves it. And you know what? I will oblige. I'm sorry, Tobias. I'm sorry. I really am. You still are overpaid by about $10 million. But I'm sorry about just saying that you were a bum. I'm sorry about being so negative about you as a player. Instead of focusing on the negative that you bring, because you still do bring negative qualities, but we're not going to get into them in this video. They don't exist in this video. Your negative qualities, they don't exist here. They don't exist in this video. But I did talk a lot about your negative qualities, and I apologize for that because I didn't appreciate the positive things that you do enough. And there is a lot of positive things. There's a lot of things to like about Tobias Harris. And I just have to start appreciating that more, man. That's really just what it is. That really is just what it is. I need to stop being a negative Nancy on Tobias Harris and be like a positive Pat. Is that phrase? I don't know. And yeah, that's really all I had to say. I just had to come on and make the official Tobias Harris apology because I think he's deserved it through, what is it, 42 games. 29 and 13, right? It's 42? Yeah, 42 games. Tobias Harris has really proven to me to be a good player and a player worthy of an apology and worthy of making $10 million less than he currently does. Kind of feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again at this point. So, sorry, Tobias. That's it.